been said, I'm here today to speak on escape rooms, but not in the traditional sense. Escape rooms and how we've become calloused to our own business services. My name is Nick Madden. I'm the owner and CEO of Red Door Escape Room, based out of Dallas, Texas. We have 2 locations in Dallas, 1 in California, 1 we're building right now in Fort Worth, and a couple more on the way. In a slow month, escape room for us will do about $80,000 in revenue. On a good month, well over $100,000 and about a 50% or above profit margin. We're super blessed to have the team that we've had. We've been open for 2.5 years and love the team around me. It's just great. So 2 years ago, I was working at Frito-Lay in their marketing department. And I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and I was on a date with my girlfriend playing an escape room. And I fell in love with the business concept. I fell in love with the actual experience and really enjoyed it. So I went to the owners and asked them if I could franchise. First thing when you see a good business, hey, can I invest in this? And they said no. And I said, well, can I just work for free at night? And they said, sure. So I would drive about 8 o'clock after I'd finish up at Frito-Lay, and I'd go and I'd work the night shift at an escape room because I wanted to learn the business from the ground up. I believe that's how it should be done. So I was working at night and learning a lot of different things. And I'd like to share a story from those 2 years ago. It was a Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and I was game mastering our prison break episode. So what that means is I was the person that was with the customers throughout their journey. I was greeting them as they came in. I was behind a screen listening and watching everything that went on in their experience and making sure that they had a good time with clues that were catered to them. And it had been 57 minutes through the episode. There's 3 minutes on the clock. They've already made it through the warden's office, the interrogation chamber. They've broken out of their cell. They've opened up a couple more cells and they're on a roll, but they're not going to escape. I know this. I've seen hundreds of games at this point. 3 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes on the clock, and there's this huge dude in the group, 250-pound individual. He's got these army boots on, big old boots. And the clock's ticking down, and they're a little bit stressed. They're under pressure. And so this guy grabs the door handle in the frame of the door and kicks right through the door. His foot splintered, wood everywhere. There was blood. It was not good. I've been here for a couple weeks at this point, and I'm on the computer, and I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, how do I go and reconcile the situation? And at the time, it was extremely frightening. But looking back on it, that's what I love about escape rooms, is it's super real and it's super tangible. And people feel real emotions when they go through it, and it's exciting in a way that nothing else I'd experienced at that point was. So fast forward 2 years and 70,000 customers later, and we have 4 locations. Different from a lot of escape rooms, we don't focus on the tourist audience as much. We put ourselves in high population, business dense suburbs, and we have a lot of metrics that go into those sorts of demographics and things. We see about 40% of our clients being corporate, about 60% being family friend groups. And I firmly believe that your only sustainable competitive advantage over time is your ability to learn. And I come from a marketing background, so we learn a ton about our customers. We've had our CRM in place since a couple months into the business. Tons of analytics on our customers, tons of focus groups from those in the inner circle of enthusiasts to those on the outer edge. And we really base our business off of this. And we do that because we not only care a ton about customers, but we just care about people in general. So our culture is super important to us. You know, our care of customers bleeds over and into our care of our staff, and we have 5 values, which are super important to us. People, growth, truth, servant leadership, and joy. And these are 5 values that kind of make tough decisions easier when we know we're sticking by our values, and it's helped be a guiding principle for us over time. So we made a very conscious decision not to franchise. And we did that for 2 reasons. One, because our culture is best when we're operating, and we totally believe in the culture that we've created, so we've wanted to keep that intact. And secondly, y'all know better than I do that the entertainment industry changes quickly, and we want to be able to move and pivot with that. So we've chosen to take on some investors and invest and gain investment in different ways, but ultimately not to franchise. Right now, we have, like I said, 4 locations. A location for us looks like anything from 55 to 7,500 square feet. We specialize just in escape rooms. An individual room for us will be about 500 square feet, and the whole project will cost us about $750,000 to get done. But what I'd really like to share with you today is that it takes a lot more than just money to do an escape room well. And I'd like to pause at this point and ask a quick question for the audience here. I'd like to know your perspective. Who do you think is the most valuable person in your organization? I'd like to get some thoughts here. Hands, anyone? Any brave souls? Who's the most valuable person in your organization? Just throw something out here. Or I'm going to randomly call on somebody. That would be, sorry? Tech, awesome, repair. Employees, great. I heard customers from over here. Our perspective is a little bit different. Thank you for that. We believe the most valuable person is the new person on your team. And we believe that because they haven't drank the Kool-Aid yet. While it's important that you have the culture, they haven't gained your culture yet, which is critical. The new person has a perspective that's different. They're close to the customer. They see your business objectively. And I don't know about you guys, but I started the industry loving escape rooms. And as a business owner now, I can't have fun playing escape rooms. Some of you guys might feel that. When you walk into the products and services that you provide, it's hard to have fun because I'm pacing off how many feet to the bathroom to measure out their square footage. I'm looking under every mag lock to see where it's wired to. I'm looking at their staff, how they're trained, looking at the decor, seeing the ceiling height, trying to gauge investment. Numbers, things running through your brain. You can almost not even enjoy the experience, and that new person on your team can. So I'd like to share with you guys three questions that came from new people on our team that we've integrated to make part of our secret sauce. And the first thing is what we call peak and end bias. It's a little bit of a psych term, but the perfect example of this is Disneyland. So if you guys have been to Disneyland, you spend a large amount of your time waiting in line, in crowds, fighting people for overpriced food, arguing over how you're gonna best do the fast passes and work the system, and then you meet Mickey Mouse. And you have the fireworks show at the end of the day, and you leave Disneyland feeling like it's the happiest place on earth, when 95% of your time might have been miserable. And that's because they've mastered the peaks and the end of that experience. So it's a way that stopped us from running around in a million different directions and trying to make every little touch point in the customer experience perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, super important to have a great product across the board, but we've put a disproportionate amount of our time into our peaks and into the end of our experience. And for us, what that looks like is a solid pre-briefing experience where you are removed from the episode, you get set up with the context, you get set up with the rules, you have a personal interaction with your game master. I believe that 50% of that customer experience really is that interaction with the game master that we train. Another peak for us is that entrance from one room into the next. So super important for us is what that second or what that third or what that fourth room looks like for customers. That really blows their mind. I've seen full-grown men in tears from reuniting with their group after breaking out of one of our collaborative games where they start in separate rooms and end up together, or our head-to-head competitions where people race to see how fast they can finish. That entrance into the second, third room is super important for us. And then obviously the escape, the final escape. What we've done is we've added a giant red button that they can press, all the lights go off, strobe lights come on, music comes on, and the game master runs in to celebrate with them. And they have 30 seconds, nothing long, but it's super exciting, and we know this works because of the feedback we get from customers. We get the 5-star reviews, we hear from this in focus groups, and we know that these peaks truly are peaks, and we're trying to up those peaks and up that end experience as where we invest our time. So the first thing, peak and end bias. The second thing, sensory experiences. So involving the senses. Humans are hardwired from thousands of years of evolution to be sensory creatures. And most of the time we think of sight. We think of how things look. We think of the LED lights. We think of the sharp corners, the color contrast. What we try to do is compound the different senses, right? You've got 5 senses, and the more you can compound your senses, the better you do. So let me help paint the picture a little bit for you. In our Once Upon a Time episode, and you can see there's a look in the upper left-hand corner of kind of that first room of it. You'll walk in, and it's a forest. It's a magical forest. You have trees up to the ceiling. The trees should feel like a tree. You should smell fresh rain. You should feel grass under your feet. Everything about that should be catered towards all the senses. And we're able to do that because we have an in-house design team. And that's super important for us. It's something that we've been intentional about building from day one. And the way we create games is we think about an awesome place to be, some place that would be super exciting. We close our eyes, we think about it, we do this as a team. And then we think about all the things that would naturally be in that space. Is it 1950s NASA? Is it some once upon a time fantasy world? And then once we have the things, we craft puzzles out of those things. We don't retrofit puzzles to rooms. We don't purchase things that other people can do. You think of the space and make it perfectly immersive. Then it will smell like the space. Then it will feel like the space. And it's something we take pride in. Also, it saves us a lot of money. Rather than outsourcing games, we can build that in-house. It's something we're super proud of. We have electrical, mechanical, industrial, computer science guys on our team, and they do a really awesome job. I just got done with an install in Sacramento. Beautiful, beautiful place. So peak and end bias, coupled with sensory experiences. And then that third piece is about our culture. And like I mentioned, we have 5 values: people, growth, truth, servant leadership, and joy. And y'all will have your own values that work for your organization. The one piece that I've seen tie our culture together really well is being present. And it's something I'm super passionate about. I come from the corporate world where more often than not, people aren't present. And what being present means to us is having the phones away and being right there with the person that you're with. We live in a world now where people are just glued to their phones all the time. So we ask customers to put that phone away when they come and have an experience with us. And there's literal anxiety when people get rid of their phones, right? Hey, can you please put your phone away? It'll enhance your experience. We don't force it, but we strongly encourage it. In our meetings internally, we have our laptops down. Unless you're referencing data or statistics, you do not need the numbers in front of you. You should know it cold. You can put your laptop away. Have your phones away. Be present with the people that you're with. It's been awesome to really enforce that. It's taken some time, but I would encourage that if you guys haven't made that a priority in your business, it's something that's really done great for us. So peak and end bias, sensory experiences, and that being present together. Super, super important. Now I get asked all the time, are escape rooms a fad? Nick, do you think escape rooms are a fad? I personally do not believe they are. And I don't believe they're a fad because I believe in experience-based group entertainment. I think there's a lot of global macro trends right now that would lend themselves to experience-based entertainment, right? People want to experience something new, go somewhere different, travel somewhere new, do something completely different. Also group entertainment. You see the growth of board games, you see the growth of social media. These are all experience and group-based things, and I think that escape rooms carve out a special niche in that experience and group-based entertainment for something that's super real and super tangible and super fun. Hypothetically, even if escape rooms were a fad, I believe that our company's not. And I believe that our company's not because of what I've learned over the last couple days here. We've been talking about soul a lot, and everyone has a different perspective on what that is. But as I reflect on our business, I'm super proud of the soul that we've created with our games. Our games all have a deeper storyline behind it. They teach things that are super real. How to deal with sacrifice, how to deal with self-forgiveness, how to deal with redemption. They have deeper, meaningful stories behind it that people come out of our games super moved when they understand that stories. Now, we don't force it on people, but when they do understand it, it's beautiful. And with our staff, I've seen dedication for our vision unlike I've ever seen in a business before. Just got back from Sacramento a couple months ago, and we had people from our team, electrical engineers, mechanical guys, volunteering to fly out to Sacramento just to make sure the product was perfect. One of the guys, his wife was pregnant 7 months. We had to literally be like, hey man, you can't come. He got on a plane anyways, because they so believe in the vision that we have of bringing relationships and great experiences to people. It's just super positive and super uplifting. So I've been moved to see that in our culture, and I'm super proud of that. I know there's a lot more experience today standing in front of me than there is standing in front of you, but I would hope that some of the things I just spoke about, however short, maybe be able to take some nuggets to your own business. I'd like to offer any expertise that we may have. Myself and my business partner would just love to be a resource for you and anything that you need. Here's our contact information right up here. And I'll pause here, and I'd love to take any questions that you may have.
Again, everyone, thank you, Nick.